The NFL on CBS. Baltimore at Cleveland from First Energy Stadium. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Josh McCown and the Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens. Kickoff is coming up from Cleveland next.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We are set for our Week 2 matchup in Cleveland at First Energy Stadium. The Ravens and the Browns, AFC North matchup. And after some worries about the weather, we have a lovely day, 77 degrees. The sun is shining as we get set for kickoff in Week 2. And the Cleveland Browns will receive that opening kickoff from Justin Tucker. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell. Our producer, Scott Brandwine. Our director, Andy Friedman, to bring you Week 2, Baltimore and Cleveland. So the Browns will get it at the 25-yard line. And you see Josh McCown, the now 37-year-old quarterback, in his 14th season out of Sam Houston State. 9 NFL stops and a year with the Hartford Colonials of the UFL. And yet through the injuries and the longevity here in Week 2, Josh McCown, who has played great in his career against the Baltimore Ravens, gets the start for Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a great thing to have if you're the Cleveland Browns organization. And you know why Josh McCown's hung around for so long? Plain and simple. He's got talent. He's got size. He can run when he has to, and he's got a big-time arm.
And you see with the Hugh Jackson offense, you're going to see shifts from the Cleveland Browns throughout the day. No surprise on first down from the 25-yard line. Crowell is shoved back on the first touch. He will lose at least one. So Josh McCown starts Week 2 after Robert Griffin III started Week 1. The first time in NFL history, 2+ starting quarterbacks in 15 straight seasons.
It's not the kind of record you would like as an organization, that is for sure. Poor RG3, he was doing some good things, played better than people realized last week, but this is one thing he's learning throughout his young career to this point. Got to learn to stay healthy, protect his body a little bit better, and that's why we see Josh McCown in there.
On 2nd and 11, trying on the ground again. Crowell gets a couple to bring up third down. And Chris, take us through the starters for the Cleveland Browns offense.
Well, let's start with the offensive line. This is a better group than I think people realize. The big thing is Cameron Irving, second-year guy out of Florida State, playing center. He has been getting better. Terrell Pryor Sr. on the edge, a freak of nature, could be a superstar wide receiver in the NFL. Pretty amazing the transition he's made from quarterback at Ohio State to now a legitimate #1 NFL wide receiver.
McCown will likely rely on those receivers on 3rd and 7. Duke Johnson in the backfield with them. Pressure off the edge. McCown delivers complete. Hawkins has it, and he has the first down as he goes scooting past the 35-yard line.
Well, that's what Andrew Hawkins can do. He is one of the quicker slot receivers in all of football. You just got to give him the ball in space. You see the Ravens bring the blitz on the backside there. Hey, Josh McCown's got a lot of experience with this defense. This is what I would do if I'm Cleveland. Throw it short early. We saw it 1st and 2nd down that you're not going to push around this Baltimore Ravens defensive front 7. They got a lot of big guys up there.
Crowell takes it again on first down. Room on the right side as he pushes across the 40. And take a look at the vaunted Ravens defense.
Oh, the big bad Ravens defense. They just seem to always have big, nasty guys. Timmy Jernigan out of Florida State. He is one guy that pops when you watch film. At the linebacker position, of course we got to talk about Terrell Suggs. And an NFL defensive MVP. He's back healthy, looking mean and nasty as always. And then Jimmy Smith is their best cover corner on the outside. He'll have his hands full today, whether it's Corey Coleman or Terrell Pryor. But you see Suggs there. I mean, he's been around the NFL for a long time. He is still big and strong. He was a lot of fun to talk to yesterday, too.
Quick play fake. McCown drilled as he throws downfield and incomplete. Intended for Coleman. Man, and it is Pierce who lays the big hit on Josh McCown.
Matt Pierce and Terrell Suggs have a party at Josh McCown. Matt Pierce, a rookie out of Samford, who is really just a big plugger, nose tackle type. Let's make a mosh pit of the run game. But he was impressive for a rookie week 1 against the Buffalo Bills.
The first big hit on McCown, who missed 8 games at the end of last year with the collarbone injury after the huge Week 5 performance against these Baltimore Ravens.
And it's Michael Pierce. I'm sorry I said Matt there.
Browns converted on their first third down opportunity. McCown to the air. It is caught on a terrific grab by Duke Johnson, slipping inside the 40. Johnson rolls all the way to the 31. Duke Johnson rips the reception away. Another third down conversion, 27 yards.
Well, it was phenomenal coverage. I believe it's Ladarius Webb on the coverage. But that's why you got a running back like Duke Johnson in the NFL. You need that type of guy. You can split him out at wide receiver, and he can run routes like he's a wide receiver. That was also a phenomenal throw by Josh McCown, right on target, like I said, in the tight coverage.
2 third down conversions in week 1. Opening drive, 2 third down conversions for the Browns. Play fake again. Now they'll dump it off Crowell on the screen. Flag down as Crowell slips inside the 20-yard line. And now we will check the flag.
Yeah, they're going to get Terrell Pryor for holding on the outside here. Nice play call, though, by Hugh Jackson.
Pass interference. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You know, you talked about it there about third down. That's the phenomenal thing about Josh McCown, and Dean Pease said it to us yesterday in the meeting. Josh McCown is dangerous. Let's look at a little block in the back there on Eric Weddle, free agent out of San Diego Chargers, who of course has been one of the better safeties in football for a long time. But McCown is dangerous on third down. You could see it if you're watching on TV. The ball pops out of his hand. He can throw it hard and accurate.
All pass interference because the ball was in the air on the screen. Johnson gets the handoff. So you saw him in the pass game with Duke Johnson, the second-year player out of Miami. He gets a couple on first and long.
One thing I know about this Baltimore Ravens defense, I like the approach of Cleveland to this point. But again, like I said in the opening, I do think the way to attack them is to throw the football against them. Baltimore's one of those defenses, when they get off the bus, I know you and I have joked about this, they'd whoop a lot of teams in a fight, just 53 on 53, and their defensive front seven is as impressive as it gets walking into the stadium.
Coleman goes in motion, inside here, Crowell tripped up as he crosses the 35, gets back to the 30. In just 2 days, NCIS's Michael Weatherly returns to CBS, and the new legal drama Bull premieres Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS. Opening drive for Cleveland. They are 2 for 2 on third down. Facing third down and long again as Crowell heads back to the sideline. Call it 3rd and 9 for McCown and the Browns.
Look at all the people at the line of scrimmage right now for the Baltimore Ravens. This is what makes them dangerous. Who's coming? Who's dropping into coverage?
Pressure picked up. McCown hit as he throws again to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Corey Coleman. An opening drive touchdown for Josh McCown and the Cleveland Browns against the Ravens D. What a statement from McCown and the Cleveland offense in the home opener.
Well, I think that's why you saw that the Cleveland Browns had a lot of confidence. Takes a big hit from Zach Orr and Timmy Jernigan. And Corey Coleman, who is an extremely exciting prospect. It's going to be interesting to see if that right foot got in. It was very close. In fact, when I was watching up here, I did not think it got in. I'll just put myself out there and say it. But McCown, you could see the talent and the dangerous possibilities these receivers have on the outside.
Scoring plays reviewed, so 2 feet inbounds and then controlling all the way through contact with the ground. Coleman comes up with the football, therefore touchdown rule, but is that second foot inbounds. So our replay officials, Mike Wimmer, taking a look at it to see if the Cleveland touchdown stands. 6 on the board for now on the touchdown pass from Josh McCown. Here's the call.
After review, the call on the field stands. Touchdown.
So the question was whether the second foot Whether there was a toe on the end line, and apparently not the indisputable visual evidence.
Right.
The call stands.
It's as close as it gets. As you can see, that right foot, I don't know. But either way, it was called a touchdown. And when he says call stands, that means there was nothing conclusive to overturn it.
So basically, if you say don't know or maybe could be, that means it stands.
Yes.
Again, that's in consultation with John Hussey, Mike Wimmer, and Dean Blandino, Senior Vice President of Officiating with the National Football League. Cleveland goes 3 for 3 on third down on the opening drive, and Josh McCown finds Corey Coleman. 9 plays, 75-yard opening statement from Josh McCown and the Browns.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Corona, who invite you to find your beach. And by Fiat.
The dog pound is happy. They got a speedy new addition to the Cleveland Browns in Corey Coleman. He now has 3 catches in his NFL career. 58-yarder to open the second half last week. 31-yard TD reception for his first career touchdown. And a 7-0 lead for the Browns on the Ravens. Here is Devin Hester out of the end zone. Hester leaping across the 25, down the sideline. Hester breaks his first big one as a Baltimore Raven across the 45. Patrick Murray finally brings down the NFL's all-time best kick returner, Devin Hester.
There's no disputing that. You're right about that. All-time best. And another a great signing by the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, a special teams coach. Now he's got a guy to add another weapon to the array. 3 phases of the game. I know a lot of times we don't talk about special teams, but he's going to help this team out a lot.
But you know the Ravens do. So Joe Flacco under center on 1st and 10. Handing off to Justin Forsett. Nothing doing there. So Joe Flacco coming back from the torn ACL, the knee injury week 11 last year. You factor in the playoff games, he had started 137 straight games for the Ravens. But back healthy, they give him the extension in March. And now Joe Flacco healthy again in week 2, quarterbacking the Ravens.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in the game. So much more talented than people realize watching it on TV. TV does not do justice to his size, athleticism, and his big arm.
Flacco to the outside, showing off that big arm to Dennis Pitta. Coming back from injury himself, let's take a look at the Baltimore starters.
Well, the big guys up front, it's a talented group, but the rookie Ronnie Stanley out of Notre Dame has been phenomenal. They look like they got their franchise left tackle for a lot of years to come. Mike Wallace, we talked about, a speed burner on the outside, just like we saw with Corey Coleman. You leave him one-on-one on the outside, he can outrun just about anybody in the NFL.
Ravens face third down. Flacco flings to the outside. That is caught for a first down. Mike Wallace makes the grab to move the chains for the Ravens. Joe Hayden on the stop.
And you see it here early. You know, the Cleveland Browns defenders are giving some room to these Baltimore Ravens wide receivers. They're going to say, no, we're going to make you catch the ball in front of us, rally to tackle, because Steve Smith on the other side, Wallace, Rashad Perryman, they can all hit the home run ball from Joe Flacco.
Hayden pressing up now on Wallace on first down. Flacco to the air again, incomplete. Over the middle, intended for Crockett Gilmore, the third-year tight end. And now the Browns defense with a lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces, a young defense. Danny Shelton, the guy up front, first-round pick out of Washington. He's been really good. Demario Davis, free agent signing in from the New York Jets, can play on all 3 downs. He's been all over the field. And then there is the Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden is one of the shutdown corners in all of football. Battled some injuries last year. He'll have his hands full today in some one-on-one matchups.
Second down. Toss. Forsett on the outside is drilled for a loss. Christian Kirksey leads the way.
Christian Kirksey gets the tackle, but I'll tell you who really did something special there is Joe Hayden. Watch to the left of your screen. Joe Hayden takes on Marshall Yanda, a lead blocker. That's like 185 or 190 going against 300-something pounds. Great job by him in playing the run. Who says corners can't play the run?
Taking on a Pro Bowl right guard there.
Yanda is as good as it gets, number 73 at right guard.
Forcing 3rd and 11. Opening drive for the Ravens. Browns show pressure. Back off. Flacco incomplete. Looking for the check down to Juszczyk. And the Browns defense comes up with a stop after that terrific return by Hester. Set up the Ravens in midfield.
Ray Orton is one of the best defensive coordinators the game has to offer. He can do some interesting things. You see John Holmes there, Tyrone Holmes, excuse me, pushing back Lonnie Stanley. I haven't seen too many people push back Lonnie Stanley. Tyrone Holmes, a rookie out of Montana, another young guy on this Browns defense.
Sam Cook hits it at the 49. Javon Williams will go out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it out of bounds. What a start for the Browns. A touchdown. They stop Flacco and the Ravens. 7-0 Cleveland.
Welcome back. The Browns are up 7-0, and Hugh Jackson said Josh McCown is on this roster for a reason. He said we have complete confidence in him, and you've noted the fact he's been in the league for 15 years, and there's nothing compared to experience. And as you guys saw, the Ravens are well aware of what McCown can do, but guys, Coach John Harbaugh told me that they really only slightly changed the way they prepared for this game. Really, it's just a different quarterback paying Hugh Jackson's offense.
And he was solid on the opening drive, and a great start to the second drive. Crowell breaks free. Isaiah Crowell. Touchdown, Cleveland Browns, 85 yards. And the Cleveland Browns offense comes out firing in week 2 against Baltimore. 13-0 Browns.
Just right off the left side, behind their 2 studs, Joe Thomas, Joel Bentonio. Those are the 2 best offensive linemen on the Cleveland Browns team. I'm in shock. It's just not every day you see holes that big against this Baltimore Ravens defense, who's got so many good run stoppers.
Crowell had the only touchdown a week ago in Cleveland's week 1 loss against the Eagles. He breaks that one for 85. He had the big one in the 4th quarter, the go-ahead TD and the eventual overtime win in Baltimore last year. That was on a catch and run. Isaiah Crowell breaks it for 85 yards. The score is correct. The Cleveland Browns inept on offense in week 1. A 14-0 lead on Baltimore. 1 in the pass game and a huge one in the run game from Isaiah Crowell.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
The 85-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Crowell is the 2nd longest rush play in Browns history. Longer than any rush of Jim Brown's career. It puts Cleveland up 14-0 on Baltimore. How in the world did Crowell get that free against the Ravens?
Well, it's going to be pretty easy here. You're just going to see Joe Thomas going to block down, John Greco, right guard, going to come around, seal the deal, and it is a huge hole. And really, Isaiah Crowell does the rest after that. Gets a good block by the fullback. And if there's one negative about this Baltimore Ravens defense, there is not a lot of speed in the secondary. There's no shutdown corners. Eric Weddle, we talked about at safety. He's been around the block for quite some time here in the NFL. And once he got in the open, Crowell, he was gone.
Already more points and 3rd down conversions for the Browns in week 2 than they had in all of week 1. So West gets the handoff here. Now if you're the Baltimore Ravens, now John Harbaugh and everyone else telling us, hey, we know that Cleveland's rebuilding. We know that they didn't look good in week 1. But this is Browns versus Ravens. This is always a close game.
Yes.
So here they are down 14-0 against the Browns.
Yeah, down 14-0, but still no time to panic. You can run your offense and go with your normal game plan. It's still very early. You can see they're doing a little no huddle, but they did that in the first series. Baltimore has got an experienced quarterback. They will not panic.
Intercepted! Hayden picks it off on the slant. Joe Hayden looking for a block. Flacco throws the pick. Hayden with the interception. And the miraculous start for the Cleveland Browns in Week 2 continues. Explosive plays from the offense. Joe Hayden picks off Joe Flacco to set up Cleveland again.
Joe Hayden's playing off coverage. He just recognizes the three-step drop slant route from Steve Smith Sr. He puts his foot in the ground and basically just breaks on the ball and picks it off. Phenomenal play by Joe Hayden. Browns are rolling right now.
At 5:59 left in the first quarter, already a huge headline in Week 2 as the Cleveland Browns are taking it to Baltimore. 14-0. Joe Hayden with the 17th career INT, and now Josh McCown takes over. Third drive, they've scored touchdowns on the first two. Josh McCown, quick hitter to the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Terrell Pryor, locked up with Jimmy Smith.
They are going to continue, and I say they, I mean the Cleveland Browns. If you continue to get that type of coverage on the outside, like we saw in the touchdown with Corey Coleman, these one-on-one matchups against Terrell Pryor and Corey Coleman, they're going to take their shots. Hugh Jackson has given Josh McCown the green light.
Crowell again. This one does not go for 85. Eric Weddle makes the stop. How surprised are you at what we've seen in this first quarter so far in Cleveland?
I'm shocked because I did not think Cleveland would be able to run the ball. They bust a big run. I did not think Baltimore would be so aggressive on the edge in giving them some of these home run shots that we've seen to this point. So Dean Pease, who I regard as certainly one of the 3 best defensive coordinators in all of football, he's got to be able to shell shock himself right now.
Inside the 50, 50 down, inside the 54. Run.
2 safeties deep for Baltimore. Going to allow the corners to play real aggressive underneath.
McCown on 3rd and 8. As he throws it, but he delivers again. It's caught for a Cleveland first down by Barnidge at the 11. Barnidge, who had a couple of big drops last week, hauls this one in. They'll spot it right at the 10.
One thing I'll say, McCown has taken some big shots. He looks like he's almost holding his shoulder arm a little right, his left arm a little already. But Barnidge, a big body, and another great throw by Josh McCown.
This is first down just outside the 10. It's Coleman again, into the end zone again. Corey Coleman. But was he marked out? Let's check.
I think he got it.
Coleman, touchdown.
Hand down, he's fine, reaches out, touchdown for sure. Corey Coleman's special. He was the most talented receiver coming out in the draft. You might have heard me say off the opening, he's a lot like Percy Harvin. Everybody knows Percy Harvin. This kid can fly. He can make people miss in space. And even for a guy that's 5'11", he can go up and catch the jump ball like we saw him do last week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
3 possessions for the Browns offense, 3 touchdowns. They had only 1 last week. They had only 2 third down conversions last week. Murray's PAT is blocked and it is scooped, and a chance for 2 for the Baltimore Ravens. And the stunning first quarter continues. 2 on the board. That's how Baltimore gets its first 2 points. 62 yards on the return.
On the extra point.
Powers brings it all the way back. Tavon Young brings it back. So a touchdown for Coleman off the pick from Hayden. And then the blocked PAT run back for 2. We're still in the first quarter, and it is already a wild one in Cleveland. The good news for Cleveland is a 20-2 odd lead. The bad news for Cleveland, that's Josh McCown. After taking some big hits, he heading to the locker room during that last break.
Good thing is, it looks like it's his left shoulder, so if it's not too painful, he should be able to play through it. But this is the touchdown throw. That was a little after the touchdown throw, but he's had some big hits in the first quarter. The first touchdown throw to Corey Coleman on the left sideline, he took a big shot. And we saw him get hurt last year in this type of game as well. I mean, Baltimore, like we've said, they are a fierce front four. They are big, and they will hit you.
So you saw Cody Kessler warming up for the Cleveland Browns, and now Hugh Jackson with the rookie third-round pick from USC, Cody Kessler, warming up. It's the first quarter of week 2, and the Cleveland Browns may be looking at their third quarterback.
Unreal. You can see Pep Hamilton sitting there next to Cody Kessler trying to get him schooled up here. But that would be unfortunate if Josh McCown can't come out and play.
Interception on the last Ravens possession from Flacco. Picked off by Hayden to set up the third Cleveland touchdown. 2 on the board after the block PAT run back. Flacco to the air. It's incomplete. Intended for Terrence West, and he dropped it.
Wide open, too. A busted coverage, really. Coming out of the backfield, Terrence West, he's going to have a place to run. Terrence West was on this Cleveland Browns football team. Baltimore picked him up last year. That could have been a big gainer, at least got some momentum going for this Ravens offense.
Baltimore native played at Towson. That's 4 straight incompletions for Joe Flacco, including the INT. So on the ground. Huge hit. West as he gets to the 30-yard line. Demario Davis delivers the blow. Week 2 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN.
It's a big third down already in the game. I know it's the first quarter and there's 4 minutes and 6 seconds left, but Baltimore Ravens defense is reeling. They need time on the sidelines to get some adjustments. They've been on the field a lot already as well.
Hughes check in the backfield with Flacco. Browns show pressure up the middle. On 3rd and 5, Flacco over the middle, reaching out to make the grab for a first down is Chris Moore, the rookie from Cincinnati.
Chris Moore is a talented player out of Cincinnati. One of my favorite guys. I watched coming out of the draft. Kind of not talked about nationally, but another good draft pick by Ozzie Newsome, who is as good as it gets at the GM level.
The former Cleveland Browns Hall of Fame tight end. First down, play fake. Flacco pressured. He's going to have to step up. Still behind the line, still looking for the deep shot. Flacco all the way across the field, incomplete as he takes a hit. Let's check in New York with JB, Coach Cowher.
A memorable catch.
Yeah, this is the first NFL catch for Xavier Grimble. That coming from 20 yards out from Ben Roethlisberger as they take a 7-0 lead in that other AFC North matchup.
I'm sure Chris Sims knows. Just get open for Ben. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, and Jenny Dell.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it, the other AFC North matchup.
Oh, yeah, the other one.
All eyes on Baltimore-Cleveland, where it's a stunner here, 20-2. Flacco hands to Forsett on 2nd down. Nothing much doing there. You got 3rd down coming up again. Did we say it's AFC North and it was going to be physical and familiar?
I love the AFC North. It is a physical division. It went from being a very hard-hitting defensive division to now you got 3 quarterbacks in Flacco, Roethlisberger, Andy Dalton, who got weapons. And it's kind of turned the tide into more of a offensive explosion type of division.
Third and 8. As Baltimore tries to get on track offensively. Play clock winding down.
One-on-one up there with Rashad Perryman. I'd be aware of that.
More pressure on Flacco. It's complete. Wallace makes the grab across midfield. He's wrestled down at the 47-yard line.
Well, that is the risk Ray Orton looks like he is willing to take. If you're going to pressure Joe Flacco, you're going to leave some of these dangerous guys one-on-one outside. Mike Wallace runs a little nice route on the outside, comes back in, and I'm telling you, if Joe Flacco hit him running there, that could have been a big play.
Williams makes a big stop in the open field. First down, Flacco pressured again, tries to dump it off. It is incomplete again, intended for Terrence West, as the Browns are in the backfield again. Ogba gets the pressure. Thursday, your weekend starts here when the Houston Texans tangle with the New England Patriots. It's Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Texans, Chiefs, big one with that playoff rematch. Week 2. Flacco turns and gives to Forsett on 2nd and 10. Trying to bounce it to the outside. Forsett near the first down. Let's check in with Ginny Dell for an update on Josh McCown.
Yeah, just a quick update. You guys saw him go off into the locker room. I can confirm that it is his left shoulder, and right now his return is questionable, guys.
Wow. After the phenomenal start for Josh McCown and the Cleveland Browns, it could be the rookie Cody Kessler coming out next time Cleveland gets the football.
Oh, man.
Play fake. Flacco on first down. Bobbled and incomplete to Chris Moore on what looked like a touchdown.
Wow. Well, you'd like Chris Moore to make that catch for sure. You'd like Joe Flacco to make it a little easier on him. Really, Joe Flacco had some open people here. As you can see, it wasn't just Chris Moore, but that would have been a for sure touchdown just off the fingertips. But man, the Baltimore Ravens, like we've seen, they're just a little off right now in all phases. McCown is running back onto the field like he might be playing, just to let you know.
McCown jogs back. Flacco faces 2nd down again. Dump down Forsett. And he's able to move it. Get 3rd and probably 2 coming up. And there's McCown back on the Cleveland Browns sideline.
The way he ran out, and now you see him with the football, that means he's going to play. Josh McCown knows he's at the tail end of his career. He's fought hard to hang around this league. He's not going to just sit out the game. Just if he can go, he's going to go. He's old school.
Time winds down in the first, 3rd and 2. That's West, and he is shoved back short of the first down. Bringing up 4th down for the Ravens as Christian Kirksey lays the lick on Terrence West on 3rd down.
It looks like they're going to go for it.
This is the end of the first quarter.
So we'll start the second with 4th down for the Ravens, but a stunning first quarter in Cleveland as the Browns lead the Ravens 20-2. Week 2 of the NFL on CBS. Baltimore's only points on a PAT block run back for 2. So the offense trying to get in gear. First play of the second quarter is 4th and 2. Shovel toss for Seth, and he is close. Cleveland thinks they've come up with a stop.
Looks short to me.
And it is. Cleveland stops Forsett and the Ravens as Demario Davis gets the tackle. And the second quarter begins with another huge play for the Browns.
Well, you'll see here, it's a toss sweep to the left. The Baltimore Ravens are going to pull some guards. I really thought at this point right here, maybe Forsett should have cut it behind Jeremy Zuttah. But Demario Davis, again, was phenomenal last week against the Eagles. You can see he is sideline to sideline, and he's a thumper in the between the tackles run game as well.
If Baltimore's going to get back in this game, they're down 20-2. Cleveland has the football again. Josh McCown is back out there for the Cleveland Browns. Big sigh of relief for the Browns fans, but we're already into the second quarter in Cleveland with a 20-2 lead. Fumble, McCown's going to just take a knee. So a chance for us to check in with Ginny Dell in a moment. Now let's check in with Ginny.
Just a quick update down here. So McCown came back out. He turned to his teammate and said, "I'm good to go." He then turned to the crowd and started chanting, "Let's go." Guys, he's fired up even though that left shoulder might be hurt.
And the question, of course, and why Cleveland's booing is McCown, who gets himself up, going to the ground, and then takes the contact.
Right. It was a busted run play. And I don't know if the backside lineman knew that. So I think the referees just thought it was two guys playing hard, and it ended up going on top of Josh McCown. It wasn't like they were trying to hit Josh McCown.
First charge timeout, Cleveland. This will be a 30-second.
And now the Browns have to take a timeout. because of the confusion prior to second down with Robert Griffin, the third arm in the sling on the sideline. McCown comes back out there for first down, and this is the play.
So he fumbles the snap. He doesn't feel comfortable handing off. See, he goes down, but what happens? Yeah, I mean, listen, what really people are getting mad about is Joe Thomas falling over the top. Lawrence Guy and him here. You see them right there. They go over the top.
So McCown,
I like the no call, though.
Okay. McCown, even though he gives himself up and takes contact from the Ravens defense, you say you're fine with it.
I am. I mean, listen, it's in the mosh pit of offensive and defensive linemen. But, man, you see already here the hits Josh McCown's taken, even though he's completed a lot of these passes, it will take its toll on you. And of course, we're seeing that right now.
The 37-year-old Josh McCown turns and gives. That's Duke Johnson. So third and long coming up. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens and McCown and the Browns are hitting on all cylinders, how does Baltimore get back in this game down 20-2 and all the momentum on the Browns side?
Well, listen, Baltimore's been in a lot of close games in the John Harbaugh era. I don't think they're going to panic. Their offense doesn't have to change anything yet. It's no time to panic. Their defense, the big thing, and I'll pat myself on the back here with the keys to the game. Play off coverage on these dangerous wide receivers for Cleveland. Keep them in front of you, rally and make the tackle. If you blitz too much, you're going to leave your guys on an island, and it could be a dangerous recipe for the Baltimore defense. You can see here they are off coverage. I like that better.
McCown on 3rd and 12. Downfield caught. Pryor has another first down as the Browns convert on 3rd down again. Terrell Pryor makes the grab in front of Jimmy Smith. 5 for 5 on 3rd down.
5 for 5, and this is some of the best protection he saw all day. You could see he had a nice clean pocket. Terrell Pryor basically runs what we call like a circus stop route. It's like a deep out, and he curls up. He's a big target, and it was a nice on-time throw by McCown.
So how does the Browns offense 2 for 10 on 3rd down last week, 5 for 5? McCown to Crowell on the pass play. Crowell across midfield again. Another big one for the Browns. How much of this is Josh McCown at quarterback for the Browns?
Well, Josh has got phenomenal talent, and I think a little bit of his Hugh Jackson as well with some great game planning. Even that play right there. That was the middle linebacker's responsibility to get out there in the flat and cover Isaiah Crowell, but there was some receivers that caused some traffic. Now the linebacker can't get out there, and it's a nice, easy completion on 1st down to put your team in a good position.
7 for 9 for Josh McCown. It's Coleman in motion. Crowell on the right side, looking for a hole. Closed off. Crowell manages to turn the corner anyway and get a couple. C.J. Mosley in pursuit there on Isaiah Crowell.
Even that, I mean, that's a sign to me almost that Baltimore is not playing well right now. The fact that Crowell was able to bounce that outside. One thing you'll always see with a Baltimore Ravens defense, they will call it set the edge. On the edge of their defense, their outside linebackers, their defensive ends, don't let the running back bounce it outside. Let's funnel everything inside to the guys like Zach Orr and C.J. Mosley so they can clean it up from there.
Crowell already over 100 yards, 85 of them on the huge run. So McCown, 2nd down. That is tipped and incomplete, and a miscommunication intended for Coleman. Wright almost had the pick. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. And they will certainly be talking about one of the Week 2 headlines here in Cleveland as the Browns are up 20-2 on the Ravens. Week 1, 2 for 10. Today, 5 for 5 on 3rd down with Josh McCown taking over for Robert Griffin III. Flag down. Looked like encroachment.
I didn't think anybody on Cleveland moved to enforce the encroachment. That's the
Neutral zone infraction, defense, 57. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's a big penalty, though. Now you're going to have 3rd and 2. Changes the the approach for the Ravens defense and Dean Pease. Let me see here. Now, C.J. Mosley crosses the line, but so they're just going to count the hand movement as, you know, I don't know if that was necessarily encroachment. I don't think I would have called that if I'm the referee.
Duke Johnson in the backfield. McCown keeps it, takes a pop, doesn't have the first down. So it is the first third down stop by the Baltimore defense against the Browns today.
Well, I think he runs. I don't think that was the smartest play call with Josh McCown's left shoulder hurting. But I think they run it there because they're in no man's land right now. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 2. They probably didn't feel comfortable kicking a 53, 54-yard type field goal. There, it looks like Hugh Jackson's going to let the clock run down, take a timeout, and they'll talk about this.
So prior to 4th and 2, the Browns use
Second charge timeout, Cleveland.
their second timeout.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Hugh Jackson has a decision to make prior to 4th and 2, as you said, in no man's land between punting and kicking the field goal. Tonight, what does a submarine with 200 nuclear warheads on it look like? Find out on a new story on 60 Minutes, plus an interview with the Libertarian candidates for president tonight. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell, our producers, Scott Brandwine, our director, Andy Freeman, back here in Cleveland, where Hugh Jackson's Browns, after looking bad in week 1, have looked phenomenal thus far in their week 2 matchup.
And I don't think it was as bad as it really looked on the scoreboard in week 1. That game was a lot closer than people realized. But this is a tough decision if I'm Hugh Jackson here. This is why he gets paid the big bucks as a head coach. It's 4th and 2 at the 36. You kick the field goal and you go up and you make it and you go up by 21 points, you go up by 3 touchdowns. But if you miss it, you give Baltimore good field position. If I'm Hugh Jackson, I think this is the proper call.
McCown and the Cleveland offense out there for 4th and 2. McCown's going to turn, but first flags before the handoff to Crowell.
That's a false start on Cleveland, so now this is going to change it once again. You'll see them punt.
Snap infraction. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Cameron Irving, who had the snap that resulted in a safety last week, a snap infraction on 4th and 2.
He's he's learning. He's a young pup. He played center and left tackle at Florida State. And I don't care how good the ACC is in Florida State, it ain't the NFL and the AFC North. So he's learning his way, and playing center at the NFL is a whole different ball game with all the things you have to do at the line of scrimmage, getting the unit, the offensive line unit, all on the same page.
Devin Hester with a chance to turn things around for Baltimore. Britton Colquitt will punt. Colquitt trying to hang it high. It'll bounce inside the 5, and the Browns down it. Inside the 5-yard line, inside the 3. Colquitt and the Browns rolling 20-2. Prior to kickoff in today's game between the Browns and the Ravens, the unveiling of the Jim Brown statue outside of First Energy Stadium, and the all-time Browns legend is with our Jenny Dell.
Jim, earlier today you witnessed the unveiling of your statue, the first of any Cleveland Brown player. What does that honor mean to you?
Oh, it's a tremendous honor. And it's a great team honor because football is a team sport. But to be recognized in that way, it's fantastic.
Many of the players said that you are the greatest of all time, and it's an honor to have a legend like you around. How important is it for you to stay involved with this organization?
Well, this is a great organization. The Haslams have done a wonderful job. Our veterans, we're all like together on everything. We have a great appreciation for the fans in Cleveland. So all we have to do now is win a championship.
There you have it, guys. Thank you so much for your time, Jim.
Thank you.
Back to you.
The last was in 1964 for the Cleveland Browns. Earlier this week, he also received the Aaron's Award, the highest honor to a Syracuse alum. As they call him around Cleveland, including the present Cleveland Browns, it is just Mr. Brown.
We learned that from all the Browns players at Friday practice.
Flacco to throw on 2nd and 4. It's incomplete. Hayden in coverage on the outside again with Mike Wallace to bring up 3rd and 4 for the struggling Baltimore offense. So you look at Jim Brown, this The 104.3 rushing yards a game, all-time NFL record, and of course, Hall of Fame candidate.
Amazing. I mean, maybe the greatest football player in the history of the game. A guy that's ahead of his time, like a Babe Ruth, a Muhammad Ali, a Michael Jordan. He was the kind of specimen you saw in the 80s, but he was back in the 50s and 60s.
The statue of Jim Brown unveiled outside pre-kickoff. The 2016 Browns have been phenomenal to begin against the Ravens, but a big conversion on third down. With Flacco and the Ravens backed up, he finds Dennis Pitta to move the chains.
They need to get Dennis Pitta going there. The Cleveland Browns only rushed 3 there. They dropped 8 into coverage. But Joe Flacco knows in that situation, okay, I got 5 blockers against 3 rushers. I can be patient in the pocket and let some routes to develop downfield. Pitta does a good job of finding the hole in the zone right over the middle.
Look at the discrepancy in total yards between Cleveland and Baltimore. Play fake. Flacco to the air again, completes again to the 26-yard line. Guess who? Dennis Pitta. Just as you prescribed, Chris.
Yes, Dennis Pitta is one of the better pass-catching tight ends in all of football. Been dealing with hip injuries the last really 2 years. They need him to be healthy. He adds another dynamic to the offense and lets them get into some 2 and 3 tight end sets and become very hard to defend, a la like the New England Patriots with Rob Gronkowski and all the tight ends they've used over the years.
Baltimore's only scorer came on a PAT run back. Toss for Seth. He gets across the 33-yard line, taking Derrick Henry for a ride, but he finishes it off with a tackle.
We've seen this a few times today, this little shotgun toss sweep. Forsett does a good job of finding the cutback lane, going up there. Forsett's a shifty little runner that can make a lot of people miss in space. Like I said earlier, though, Baltimore doesn't need to panic. It's still early. This is the NFL. Joe Flacco can light up the scoreboard just as quickly as Josh McCown did.
First and 10 from the 33. Another play fake, trying to set up the screen, just dump it, incomplete.
Number 88, an eligible receiver, was in the area. There's no intentional grounding.
So trying to get it to Pitta on a tight end screen.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal play by Emmanuel Ogbah there to a rookie at Oklahoma State. That's the thing you like to see. A rookie that has a clue of what is going on. You see Ogbah at the bottom of your screen. He kind of notices that Dennis Pitta doesn't really block him, and he goes, you know what? I'm not going to fall for that trap. Good job by him.
Steve Pyatt putting pressure on Flacco as well. 2nd and 10. Flacco goes to Pitta again on 2nd down. He's shoved out after Pitta makes the grab at the 35. Tramon Williams on the tackle.
Flacco being smart. If there was one bad thing about his game last week, he wasn't necessarily accurate on some of those short throws. Today, it looks like he's got it going. And this is a big 3rd down. Again, yes, they gave themselves some breathing room. At least they changed field position on the Cleveland Browns. But you'd like to give your defense a little bit more rest and hopefully get some points here.
Flacco on 3rd and 7, stepping up, incomplete, and almost intercepted again. Looking for Pitta, and Kendrick nearly had the pick on the deflection. It would have been Flacco's 2nd.
Well, this wouldn't have been on Joe Flacco. That was a perfect throw. You see Pitta, he tries to kind of cradle it with his arms instead of putting his hands out there. And the rookie out of TCU, Kendrick, almost comes down with it.
Browns think he's going to be a big one. So with the Ravens offense still struggling, it's Sam Cook on the punt again. Hits it at the 27. Tramon Williams calls for the fair catch inside the 15. Muffs it, gets back on top. I'll have it at the 10. The NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by Genesis. Take a breath of fresh luxury.
The NFL recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the history, culture, and tradition of Latinos. Visit NFL.com/Hispanic Heritage to view unique stories, features, and content. SAP announcer at today's game, Armando Quintero, called a shocking start to week 2 for the Cleveland Browns and Crowell, who had the big one, the 85-yard touchdown run, tackled there by C.J. Mosley. So what in the world do the Baltimore Ravens have to do to get back in this football game?
Well, listen, like we've talked about a little already, there's still a lot of time. 18 points in the NFL is not a big deal.
Is reported as eligible. Number 66 is reported as eligible.
Got an eligible receiver at the lineman position. But regardless, Spencer Drago is eligible, just so everybody knows out there. I'm trying to do my job here. But Baltimore, again, make Cleveland go the length of the field, limit the big plays. That would be my big approach.
Fling it to the outside on the screen. Baltimore ready for that one.
You got to limit the amount of one-on-one opportunities on the outside, protect your corners a little bit, and make Cleveland prove to you that they can go on 10, 12-play drives and execute in the short pass game and the run game.
So Darius Smith gets a stop there on Corey Coleman on the busted screen. McCown, 8 for 11. He has taken a pounding but remained in the game for the Cleveland Browns, the 37-year-old.
You got a 3rd and 2 here, so the whole playbook's open for Hugh Jackson. He can run the ball here, but I expect we see a short pass.
McCown rolling, throwing, completing. That's a first down. It's Andrew Hawkins who moves the chains for the Browns.
What we would call a little sprint right option in the West Coast offense. You could see they kind of threatened Terrell Pryor at the outside corner going deep. And then Corey Coleman just simply runs a little 5-yard out. And again, Josh McCown on the money with the football.
Jimmy Smith makes the stop. Crowell in the backfield. Out of the eye with Malcolm Johnson at fullback. McCown turns, Crowell has it on the left side with a hole to push it across the 25, the 27-yard line. Orr and Mosley, the inside linebackers, make the stop. Crowell, the 3rd-year player out of Alabama State, undrafted free agent. 85-yard run, the 2nd longest in Browns history. 115 rushing yards for Isaiah Crowell already. McCown on 2nd down. Pressured. McCown slips away. Sacked at the 20-yard line. Urban gets the pressure on Josh McCown.
Brent Urban, hey, we talk about Cleveland being young on their football team. The Baltimore Ravens are as young as you're going to get as well. Brent Urban out of Virginia. He was a guy that was hurt last year. Matthew Judon, a rookie at a Grand Valley State, is a guy that's been playing really well for the Baltimore Ravens. He starts off the pressure. Urban finishes it. Like I said a little earlier, and we've talked about, just another big guy. They got tremendous depth on this Baltimore Ravens front 7.
McCown and the Browns have been phenomenal on 3rd down. 6 of 7. Inside here, Johnson on 3rd and 12. So punt coming for the Cleveland Browns. Weddle gets the stop on Duke Johnson on the 3rd and 12 give.
Nice safe call. He doesn't want anything. You don't know what you're going to get from Dean Pease and his defense in 3rd and long type of situations. Hugh Jackson managing his team. Calls the run play. Punt it out. You're not going to win every 3rd and long type of situation, especially against these exotic, creative Baltimore Ravens defenses.
Devin Hester back to return the punt from Britton Colquitt. Last punt, he pinned the Ravens inside their own 3. Hester will have a much better chance this time. Calls for the fair catch, grabs it at the 25. As the Baltimore Ravens play with heavy hearts today. Clarence Brooks, the longest tenured member of the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff, died on Saturday at age 65. Our condolences to the family, Clarence Brooks, and all those around football who mourn his loss. Only 2 points on the scoreboard for Baltimore on the first down carry to the 30-yard line. Justin Forsett. So no matter which way you slice it, Baltimore's offense is struggling mightily against the Browns.
Yes, it's been all things. Joe Flacco's missed a few throws. He's had a little pressure. Linemen have messed up blocking assignments. Even had some drop passes like we saw from Dennis Pitta. Here's going deep, go to Brashad Perriman.
Deep shot, Flacco to Perriman, almost picked again by Joe Hayden. Would have been his second pick on the deep shot. Hayden nearly came away with the football.
Wow, well, one thing you know about Baltimore, they are not going to be scared to take their shots vertically down the field. But so far, the Cleveland Browns have done a phenomenal job in coverage. And Joe Hayden, if there was one thing I would say, I worry about whether he has that sixth gear like he used to 2-3 years ago, because he's been injured. But right there, he looks like he's got it.
Flacco now 8 for 19, only 60 passing yards. Steve Smith doesn't have a catch. But this one's complete, and Pitta has room to run. Pitta cuts it back to the 40, and a potential touchdown-saving tackle by Derek Kindred on the biggest offensive play of the day for the Ravens, 30 yards.
Well, this is the risk you take if you're Ray Orton and sending pressure at Joe Flacco on third down. There you go, a nice accurate throw to Dennis Pitta. Hoyer tries to go for the batted ball, he misses, and now since you're in man-to-man and you pressured, there's a lot of space out there to do something after the catch.
From 60 passing yards to 90 on one play. Flacco over the middle again, it's caught. That's Crockett Gilmore. So to the tight end, working the seams again. Crockett Gilmore takes it inside the 20.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99 in the defense. Low hit to the knees of the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning with a stunning 20-2 score. Best drive of the day for Joe Flacco and the Ravens. They have it first and goal from the Cleveland 9. Almost as many yards on this drive as they had in the game thus far. Forsett, the ball carrier, he's going to take it to the 7. This was the penalty on the hit on Flacco.
This is life in the NFL. Stephen Paia, you see there, he knows he's going to hit him in the leg. He's trying to stop. It's unfortunate for defensive linemen. Oh yeah, run through these 300-pound offensive linemen, and if you fall off balance, we don't want you to hit the quarterback in the knee. So I feel bad for them being an ex-quarterback, but that's just quite simply the rule right now in this league.
Flacco protected in the pocket there, so Paia goes low, gets the flag. Just prior to the 2-minute warning. Second and goal now. And a lined up to the outside on the left. Here comes the pressure. Flacco flings, complete. Touchdown, Mike Wallace hauls it in. And after the phenomenal start for the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore finally into the end zone with 1:15 to go in the second quarter as Flacco and the Ravens try to begin the comeback effort here in Cleveland.
Hey, this ain't Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens' first rodeo. They are not going to panic in this situation. And, nor should they be discouraged. We have seen some people open. Whether it was Chris Moore in the missed connection for the drop touchdown pass earlier in the first quarter, the Dennis Pitta drop. So they have shown, even with this drive here, that they can get some people open in the passing game. And I like the fact that they're not going for 2. Let's not chase points with 1:15 left in the second quarter.
Justin Tucker boots through the PAT. So after the 20-2 start for the Browns, Flacco and the Ravens starting to get back on track. The veteran QB to the veteran wideout Mike Wallace. Touchdown, Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx, helping small businesses simplify e-commerce. And by Bud Light, beer with your team on it.
That's a legendary West Side Market here in Cleveland. This past April, they started adding Sunday hours, so they're following along remotely using the CBS Sports app, I'm sure. 20-9, Cleveland on the Ravens. So Flacco 8 for his first 18. And on that drive, 3 for 4, 59 yards, and the touchdown pass. Wallace. Johnson from near the goal line. Duke Johnson shakes his way across the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, well, two things to notice here. Look, first of all, look at all the people at the line of scrimmage for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco knows it's going to be a blitz. And then you're going to see clear route by Steve Smith, slant route by Mike Wallace, and a perfect throw by Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco can stripe the ball as good as it gets in the NFL. Like Mark Trestman told us yesterday in meeting, I'm still waiting to see him throw his first wobbly pass. That just tells you what kind of thrower Joe Flacco is. And then what John Harbaugh goes, yeah, he's got arm talent, doesn't he? And exactly. I mean, he excites offensive coordinators and coaches because of the explosive arm ability of Joe Flacco.
So for McCown and the Browns, one timeout, minute 10 with a 20-9 lead. Josh McCown pushes it downfield, complete. Gain of 9. That's Barnage who makes the grab. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest scores and the highlights, plus a preview Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. Verizon halftime report coming up. McCown takes a deep shot, and it is intercepted by Eric Weddle. Picked off with 42 seconds. The new Raven after the terrific career with the San Diego Chargers. Eric Weddle picks off McCown, setting up the Ravens with 42 seconds.
Right, and that's why we've been saying you don't have to panic if you're the Baltimore Ravens. This game is not over. Josh McCown, that was a dicey decision. He knows better than that, and I'm sure that's exactly what Hugh Jackson told him. Jimmy Smith, I'll say this too, on the coverage downfield, I did think there was a little extracurricular pushing and holding there. No call, and Weddle, the sure-handed safety from the San Diego Chargers all those years, makes a big-time pick.
So after the frustrating end in San Diego, has his first INT as a Raven.
Right, and see Weddle, nice catch, toe tapping.
Ravens get the football with 42 seconds after the interception. Almost all of the Baltimore offense came on that last touchdown drive, ending Flacco to Mike Wallace. Now they have the football back with 42 seconds.
42 seconds, 3 timeouts. Baltimore, you just play for the field goal here. That's the smart thing to do. And because of the 3 timeouts, they can work the middle of the field. Their offense is totally open.
Flacco to the outside, knocked away, looking for Steve Smith Sr. Doesn't have a catch in the first half. Joe Hayden knocks it away.
Joe Hayden, phenomenal coverage once again. They've done a good job of stopping some of those back shoulder throws here. We've seen them, it's about the 3rd time today. They've stopped that little route combination. And Steve Smith Sr., hey, he is a legend, an NFL legend, but I'm sure he's still not quite hitting on all cylinders after tearing his Achilles last year.
Ravens need about 20 yards to give Justin Tucker a chance. Most accurate kickers in NFL history. Flacco check down Pitta to the outside again with the 3 timeouts. Pitta wrestled down at the 44-yard line. So timeout number 1 stops it with 29 seconds to bring up 3rd and 5.
Timeout Baltimore. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And again, you're Joe Flacco. Of course, you'd like to get your team in field goal position here. But having said that, he should learn from what he just saw with Josh McCown on the other side. There's no reason to force anything down the field. You're down 11 points. As all you fans out there know, as you know, Carter, 11 points in the NFL this day and age is just nothing. But yeah, they get to the 40-yard line, 43-yard line. Tucker's the type of kicker that can hit a 60, 62, 63-yarder.
His career long is 61. He hit from 60 in warm-ups. 29 seconds, 2 timeouts. Flacco, time to throw. Completes again across midfield. That's Juszczyk, the fullback, to the 49. First and 10, 23 seconds and a timeout.
Yes, good decision. I think Flacco was thinking about throwing it deep here to the left sideline and kind of mid-throw said, you know what, I'm going to take the safe completion underneath, get the first down.
Well, the numbers for Joe Flacco were horrendous, 44% until the last touchdown drive when he went 3 for 4. Then McCown throws the INT, so these numbers that were so lopsided 2 drives to go.
Right.
Starting to even out.
Right, and we've talked about it. The numbers for Flacco, I think, early on were a little misleading because of some drops and just some misconnections with the receivers down the field.
5 straight completions now for Flacco. Off 1st and 10. Long drop. Deep shot. Intended for Wallace again, and it's incomplete. Overshooting Mike Wallace. Jamar Taylor. Airing coverage on the deep shot.
They're not going to stop throwing it deep, and that's from the captain's orders of John Harbaugh. He said, we're not here to manage the game, and Joe Flacco, we want to put pressure on the defense with the deep passing game, and he stressed to us how he's stressed to the receivers all week. If you want to throw the ball deep, you can't let the defenders pick it off. When we do it, it's either you got to catch it or nobody catches it.
So after the deep shot, we'll see if the Ravens start to think field goal with 1 timeout, 14 seconds. Flacco complete to the 35. Smith makes his first grab at the 34-yard line, maybe the 35. We'll see where they spot it. But there's the final timeout, 10 seconds. What do the Ravens do now?
Well, you have 2 options here. You can get in the formation and go, you know what, let's try to throw one more quick pass to the sideline to make Justin Tucker's job a little easier. Or you could take one shot at the end zone if you felt like it. You could do either one. There's no doubt about it. Baltimore, I would be scared with John Harbaugh and Flacco that they might take a shot down the field if you leave them one-on-one outside.
And sure enough, for now, Tucker is on the sideline. It would be a 52-yard attempt from here. Hit 50 last week, hit 60 in warm-ups, but Flacco and the offense on the field with 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll see. I might get a better feel for the formation, but like I said, they can just go, let's get a few extra garbage yards to make Justin Tucker's job a little easier. But if he gets a one-on-one situation, and you can see right now, Cleveland's safeties are deep. Vavorchek looking for a little garbage completion. There you go.
So tested 5 seconds. No timeouts. Here comes Tucker for the field goal.
One of the best kickers in football. He's a Longhorn like myself, so you know I like that. Hook 'em horns, baby. Even though we're not hooking anything after that loss to California last night.
I was going to say that's pretty bold for a team who just lost late night at Cal. Justin Tucker from 52. 52-yard field goal from Tucker is easily good. And so after the hot start for Cleveland, as the skirmish continues at the end of the first half, it is Baltimore who finishes the first half with a touchdown and then a 52-yard field goal from Justin Tucker to make it an 8-point game at the half.
Yes, a little deflating if you're the Cleveland Browns because you dominated the first quarter and a half at least. And Baltimore goes into halftime feeling good about themselves and with all the momentum on their side.
8-point game. They take the interception and turn it into 3 with a 52-yarder. Jenny Dell is with you, Jackson.
Coach, after a loss week 1 and losing your quarterback, you came out dominating to start this game, but it seems the momentum has shifted a little bit in the second quarter. What have you seen?
We just got to get it back. You know, we can't turn the ball over. We had a chance to make some plays. We didn't make them. It's unfortunate we gave them 3 points here at the end of the half. We got to go get our momentum back.
Is McCown healthy?
He's hanging in there. He's fighting. He's battling. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
That is the end of the first half with the score now 20-12. Browns leading the Ravens. We'll be back with a Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Picks up McCown. As he throws it into the end zone. Powell breaks free. Touchdown, Cleveland Browns. It's Coleman again. Into the end zone again. Corey Coleman. After the hot start by Cleveland, Baltimore closes the first half strong, and our score is 20-12 at the break. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell on the sideline. We're wearing our St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, our pins, our ties, and we're proud to support Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Here's our partnership with CBS Sports. So a 20-12 score at the half, and it was the Browns who were off to a phenomenal start, and yet it's the Ravens who come back and make it a tight game.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Josh McCown, his start, he was on fire throwing the football, but the Ravens got all the momentum here going into the second half.
That late field goal. So we take a look at our first half highlight presented by DirecTV. And it's McCown to Coleman for the first time. 1 of 2 touchdown grabs by Coleman in the first half. You add on that 85-yard touchdown by Isaiah Crowell. And we take a look at those first half numbers, and they did not look good for Baltimore for much of that first half. But now you look at it, and yeah, yards per play is still way up there for Cleveland, but the Ravens managed to get back in the football game and make those numbers look a little bit better.
Yes, they did. They weathered the storm there. They were in trouble. But that's what's the great thing about the Baltimore Ravens. They got John Harbaugh and Joe Flacco and Terrell Suggs, who have been in so many of these types of football games. They did not panic, and they're right back in it.
Devin Hester brings it out, so now here's Joe Flacco. So he's led scoring drives on the last 2 for the Ravens, and with the interception by Josh McCown to set up that last field goal. A touchdown pass for Flacco, an interception for Flacco. That QB comparison, now amazingly, at least yards-wise, in Joe Flacco's favor.
Yes, Joe's probably feeling real good about himself right now because he kind of caught fire there towards the end of the first half. And the Ravens, again, here they're back in the game. Run game, pass game, play-action pass, all back into play.
Terrence West takes the first down carry. So at an 8-point game after it was 20-2, is there a sense going into the second half that Baltimore now has, I mean, not only the momentum, but you can feel a little bit of trepidation in the Browns fans who were so confident with that 20-2 start?
Yes, well, they've seen this story before here in Cleveland, and I'm sure they are a little scared of it, especially with the way Joe Flacco has kind of always found a way to beat Cleveland in a lot of different situations. But Josh McCown, he'll still be aggressive throwing the football. You can count on that.
Flacco on 2nd and 5, incomplete, intended for Pitta. Dramatic games last year between the Ravens and the Browns. And the big week 5 for Josh McCown. And then the Ravens won that wild one on Monday night without Flacco after he went down with the run back on the block, potentially game-winning field goal without Flacco. And now the Ravens and the Browns in what was a wild first half. Now the Ravens trying to capitalize on that momentum on 3rd and 5, downfield complete, near midfield. Steve Smith Sr. makes the grab. Williams on the stop.
Well, I mean, what do you say there? Great coverage, unbelievable throw. I mean, this is why he is Joe Flacco. Look, perfect spiral, tight window. Joe Flacco is one of the most gifted throwers I've ever seen. I can still remember the first time I saw him in person. Like I said earlier, TV doesn't do it justice. He's so big, he's got big hands, long arms. He can throw the 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and it looks like he's throwing the changeup.
New Jersey quarterbacks. Right?
We do.
Flacco first down, deep shot, Smith lays out, holds it in. Steve Smith Sr. making his presence felt big time to begin the 3rd. Takes it to the 20.
What was that word you used? Trepidation?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Again, they're just the Baltimore Ravens. They are just going to continue to take shots down the field. If you're going to get in their face, get in the face of their wide receivers and play bump man-to-man, you're crazy to think if Joe Flacco and Mark Trestman aren't going to dial up some deep shots.
Smith moves into 10th place all time for receiving yards in a career as Terrence West takes it on first down. So the Ravens scored their only offensive points on the last 2 drives, the touchdown drive, and then off the interception, the field goal to close the half. Steve Smith Sr. leading the way on the Ravens sideline right now, the 16th year pro out of Utah. Now 37 years old, 5-time Pro Bowler. West motions out of the backfield. Flacco. Caught, touchdown, Mike Wallace hauls it in. as the Ravens come storming back in Cleveland. In a hurry to begin the third quarter, a PAT away from a one-point game.
Well, I mean, it's a great free agent signing of the offseason. Jamar Taylor got totally turned around by Mike Wallace. I think he's expecting him to run a post, which is something Baltimore does down in the red zone a whole lot. Mike Wallace kind of leaned into the post, and they throw the back shoulder. But again, no, I am a believer. I got the producer in my ear asking me, do you go for two here? No, you don't go for two here. It's the start of the third quarter, and you've been moving the ball at will here for the last half quarter. Keep it going. Yeah, Baltimore's going to have the ball a whole lot more.
Tucker boots it through. So after trailing 20-2, the Ravens have come storming back to make this a one-point game. The Baltimore receivers lead the way on the last touchdown. 17 straight for the Baltimore Ravens. Wallace has the touchdown grab to pull Baltimore within one. Wallace with his second touchdown catch. Atkinson from inside the 5. Loose football scooped up by the Browns. Atkinson fumbles it. Cleveland gets back on top at the 23-yard line. Lewis manages to scoop it back in. Ricardo Lewis flagged down. You strongly agree with going for the one-point PAT there.
Right, you don't go for two there. First of all, we're seeing points. The story's not over with points for the day. And if you miss the two-point conversion, now you're down 20-18. Hold on, I'll let the referee talk.
During the return, holding receiving team number 35. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
All right, we'll hit on the touchdown here, and then I'm going to explain to the audience why you don't go for two there, John Harbaugh. But this is what I don't understand. Jamar Taylor kind of goes inside for some reason. It's just a straight go route by Mike Wallace. But Flacco sees that Jamar Taylor, for some reason, is playing so far inside that he won't be able to get back and react to Mike Wallace. To go!
So McCown and the Browns backed up from their 11 now. Josh McCown pressured. He's going to heave it, and it is incomplete, out of bounds.
So points are at a premium right now. I mean, both teams seem to be able to move the ball. Baltimore's got to feel confident about their offense, and it's just too early in the game to chase the points. If you're Baltimore and you go for two there, and you're down 20-18, now, let's say it's 20-18 and Cleveland goes down and scores a touchdown. Now it's 27-18 and it becomes a two-score game once again. So this way, you're guaranteed of a one-score game. And John Harbaugh, this again is not his first rodeo. He knows there's a lot of ball left to be played and he's not going to chase points with 12 minutes left in the third quarter.
Crowell gets the second down carry. Trying to hit it outside. He is wrapped up by C.J. Mosley, who tracks him down on the edge to force third down.
Well, Baltimore, you can tell they're a little revved up right now. They're feeling good. Their their defense is, now they know their offense is capable of moving the ball. They're coming downhill. And the Cleveland Browns offensive line, it's good, but it's not great. It's middle of the road NFL, somewhere between 14 and 18 as far as offensive lines are concerned in the league. Baltimore's defensive line, on the other hand, it's deep, and it is one of the 10 best defensive lines in football. And I do think they will continue to wear down this Browns offensive line.
McCown on third down. Finds Duke Johnson. Blockers on the edge. Duke Johnson falls forward near the first down. Good second effort from Duke Johnson on the screen, and it will be first down Cleveland on a good catch and run of the second-year pro from Miami.
What a phenomenal call by Hugh Jackson. He played the fact that he thought Baltimore would rush forward, drop 7 into coverage. They played a real deep zone, and there was nobody there to account for Duke Johnson in the screen game.
Browns convert again on third down. Josh McCown, deep shot, looking for Pryor. Incomplete, out of bounds with Sharice Wright coverage on Terrell Pryor.
That's right, Sharice Wright. Play deep. Hey, I like that Cleveland's going to continue to take their chances down the field. Josh McCown, he's a little bit of a gunslinger, and Hugh wants you to take your shots. But if you're Baltimore on the other side, too, you've been burned on the outside. hopefully you've learned your lesson. And you make the Browns drive the length of the field and see if they can execute with so many young pieces on their offensive side of the ball.
Crowell has it on second downs. Zachary Orr makes the stop. So for Josh McCown, who has had tremendous performances throughout his career, his 14-year career with 9 NFL stops. He threw for a Browns record 457 yards against the Ravens in Week 5 last year. Because the injury to Robert Griffin III, it's Josh McCown with the Week 2 start. He was banged up in the first half, and he's toughed it out to be out here for the third quarter. He knows these opportunities are limited at this point in his career.
They are. They're rare, and he doesn't want to let it go, and he was feeling like he's got a hot hand. What's Baltimore going to do right now here with all these people at the line of scrimmage? I think you're going to see them drop some out.
Pressure picked up. McCown goes scrambling and takes the sack. So picked up early, but then the Ravens get the sack. It's Jernigan, who's becoming a nemesis to Josh McCown.
They put 6 guys at the line of scrimmage, but didn't blitz. They still rushed 4. They played man-to-man behind it. But even with the early success of the Cleveland Browns, and we talked about it in the first half, both you and I, McCown was getting pressure, even though he was completing some of those big pass plays down the field, and that looks like it's continuing here.
Devin Hester, who has 14 punt returns for touchdowns in his NFL career. Backed up near the sideline. Hester grabs it at the 30. Hester dancing along the sideline. He'll be forced out near the 45-yard line. So Baltimore, after trailing 20-2, has the football and a chance for the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on. And by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com.
With 17 straight points, the Ravens have made this a one-point game in Cleveland. Last month, the Browns held their 3rd annual Moms Clinic, which aimed to educate mothers on the critical health and safety elements of youth football. Michelle Jackson, wife of Browns head coach Hugh Jackson, part of an engaging panel that encouraged other mothers to take an active role in learning what measures are being taken to keep their children safe on the playing fields. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell here in Cleveland, where the Browns led it 20-2. Or set on the first down carry, nothing much there. Flacco and the Ravens have the football and a chance to take the lead. As they have flipped the script after the amazing start by Cleveland in Week 2.
Completely flipped the script. One thing I'll say about Cleveland right now too, hey, you're doing a good job of stopping the run. You haven't really been gashed all day long. So err on stopping the pass. Don't sell out to stop the run.
2nd and 9. Flacco. Pressured in the pocket. Dumps it. That is incomplete. The pressure by Ogba.
In the area. Number 29 is in the area. No intentional grounding.
An explanation from our referee, John Hussey.
Yeah, a little rookie-on-rookie crime down here. Stanley against Emmanuel Ogba. Really good pass protection. There's just nobody open down the field. And this is the one thing you notice when you watch the Ravens and study them. Flacco is amazing at not taking sacks. Oh, I got a guy on my back. I'm Big Joe Flacco, and he still gets it out of his hand to keep his team in a manageable situation here in 3rd and 9 instead of 3rd and 15.
And prior to 3rd and 9, Flacco is going to use a timeout.
Timeout, Baltimore. This will be a 30-second.
Now that's not something you see every day from the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh. You know, they timeouts in the second half. To do that, that might come back to bite him later in the game.
Joe Flacco started this game 8 for 19. Since then, he's found those veteran receivers, 2 touchdowns for Wallace, finally getting Smith rolling, and the Ravens offense is following.
Yes, Flacco's got the hot hand right now. He's liking the way the ball feels coming off his hand, for sure. And him and Steve Smith and Mike Wallace got it going.
After that 8 for 19 start, 10 of his last 15, a pair of touchdown drives. He's been scoring drives the last 3 times the Ravens have had it. Touchdown, then the field goal to close the half. The quick strike touchdown to begin the third quarter. Now facing 3rd and 9 from the 46.
Looks like man-to-man. Looks like Cleveland's going to blitz.
Flacco, double pumps, hit as he throws, but he completes it anyway. Rashad Perriman hauls it in. Flacco takes the hit. Perriman makes the grab to convert on 3rd and 9.
I mean, look what Joe Flacco does here. Looks to the right. Oh, nobody's open. Nobody's open. Let me just stand there, take the shot, and still throw the ball 20 yards down the field with Demario Davis hitting me in the stomach. Those are the things that, yeah, that's not going to be on the highlight show later tonight, but again, a huge 3rd down conversion for Joe Flacco and a phenomenal football play by him.
8 different players have caught a pass, and Hugh Jackson throws the challenge flag on the Perriman grab.
Yes. I'd like to see it one more time myself.
I bet you will.
Yeah, probably will.
Cleveland is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. Timeout.
So we will take closer looks at what is now ruled a catch by Rashad Perriman to convert on 3rd down. NFL rulebook says if the ball touches the ground after the player secures control of it, it is a catch, provided that the player continues to maintain control. And that's the issue on what was ruled a catch by Rashad Perriman.
Right. And the way I look at it, yes, the ball does hit the ground, but I don't see the ball, him lose
After
control.
review, the ruling on the field stands. Cleveland will be charged their first timeout of the half.
Yeah, I believe that was the proper call. As you could see here, yes, the ball hits, but does it move? Does it jiggle? No, not really. He keeps control of it through the roll. I do believe this was the proper call.
And again, the ball can touch the ground as long as Perriman maintains control.
Right.
And the call stands. So Perriman makes the grab on 3rd and 9. And a critical Baltimore drive continues. A 20-yard grab on an incredible throw by Flacco. John Hussey has to reset things prior to 1st down now. 17 straight points from Baltimore to make it a 1-point game. Flacco on 1st down, pumps again. Deep shot again, and there's a flag as Smith and Hayden get tangled up near the goal line.
I think they're going to call offensive pass interference. Oh, no, they're not. I do not agree with that call. Joe Hayden had him blocked on the sideline. Steve Smith ripped Joe Hayden out of the way. I was watching it the whole time, and that's what they're talking about right now.
John Hussey and his crew get together to discuss where is the pass interference.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense number 23. 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
That's tough. You'll see here, look at it. I mean, are they calling that? That's what they're probably calling right there. Hands to the face, gets his hands out. Once you get out of that free 5-yard zone there with contact, they're going to call that anytime they see the hands extended from your body.
And so you heard the explanation prior to the pass. So not pass interference, but it's the hands by Hayden that draws the flag. On Smith, so the Baltimore drive continues after the huge 3rd down conversion. Now the penalty on Hayden makes it 1st and 10. Flacco from the gun. Flacco, deep shot again. Jump ball! This time Hayden wins it in the end zone. Joe Hayden, 2nd interception of the day. Flacco and the Ravens test him again. And the 2-time Pro Bowler has 2 picks, preserving the Cleveland lead. And the score remains Cleveland 20, Baltimore 19.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Browns trying to bounce back from another week 1 loss. 12th straight here. They have the lead on Baltimore. Josh McCown on the roll, dumps it out of bounds. So let's go back to the pick. The second by Hayden.
Yes, Hayden, he's playing phenomenal football. On an island out there to the right side, one-on-one with the second-year receiver, Brashad Perryman. Flacco underthrows it a little bit, but Hayden just does a great job of going up and catching the ball like a wide receiver. He goes up and catches it at his highest point. He's playing ball today. I mean, he made a phenomenal play on the first interception, breaking on the slant, reading the quarterback. Big Joe Hayden still got it.
Coming back from the ankle injuries in year 7. Isaiah Crowell finds the edge. Crowell, see where they spot him out of bounds, but he has the first down. On Crowell's biggest day as a Cleveland Brown.
Little toss sweep. Nice blocking up front by the Cleveland Browns. And I am surprised at the success they've had in the running game against this stout Ravens front seven.
130 now for Crowell. 85 of them on the touchdown run of the first half. The second drive of the game for Cleveland.
Easy. Oh, we're good. Timeout. Hell no.
And Josh McCown's going to use a timeout.
Second charge timeout, Cleveland. This will be a 30-second timeout.
6:50 left in the third. Only one timeout remaining for the Browns. Saturday, the SEC on CBS brings you the best game for the best conference. The Florida Gators go to Rocky Top with the Vols. Action begins with college football today in a critical SEC East matchup. And Joe Hayden representing the Gators pretty well today with the Cleveland Browns with 2 interceptions.
Yes, he is. Well, you look at Florida and Tennessee, there's a lot of NFL players around the league from both of those schools. The SEC in general, I don't care what anybody says. The SEC is still the best conference in football. They got more NFL players across the board. I'm always tuning into SEC football.
They gave us a great one yesterday with that come-from-behind win. Alabama at Ole Miss. McCown on the roll, first down, complete to Corey Coleman, the rookie out of Baylor, who has been huge for the Browns in week 2. Beats Sharice Wright for that grab.
You know, I thought Corey Coleman down here at the bottom of the screen might have stepped out of bounds down here. Right there. And I believe I am correct. He might challenge it. He should. There it goes.
Red flag is down before the snap. John Harbaugh is going to challenge exactly what you saw, Chris.
Yes, it looked like when Corey Coleman worked back to the football, his left foot stepped out of bounds.
Baltimore is challenging the previous play on the field that the receiver stepped out of bounds prior to catching the pass. Timeout.
The guy who had the best look at it may have been John Harbaugh, happened right in front of him. So we'll see if the catch stands for Corey Coleman with the Browns up 1. Reeling on the field is completed pass to Corey Coleman. The question is, did he go out of bounds before coming back in to receive the pass? And that may be the best look at indisputable visual evidence.
Yeah, it sure looks like he's out of bounds to me. I'm going to say they overturned the call, but man, I'm not going to be shocked. It's not like we can plain as day see that his foot is on the white chalk.
So there was a couple angles that were blocked out. Here's the call.
Cleveland receiver stepped out of bounds, then did not reestablish prior to catching the ball or touching the ball. That penalty is a loss of down. It will be 2nd down and 10 at the 35-yard line.
So yet again, it happened right in front of the Baltimore bench. So that's John Harbaugh standing there right.
John Harbaugh, I'll
And
tell you the other
Baltimore
one.
is not charged with the timeout.
I saw Ryan Mallett right here, as you see right there. He's the backup quarterback. Look, immediately pointing. That was what kind of clued me in. And I'm 36, and I still got pretty good eyes, so I can kind of see that stuff for the most part.
So sure enough, challenge 1. Call overturned. And wipe out the 4th catch of the day for Coleman. He has 3, 2 of them for touchdowns. Back to 2nd down and 10. McCown in trouble, backing up, and throws incomplete. Pressured in the pocket again, intended for Barnidge. Weddle there in coverage.
Hey, Josh McCown, good job there. Get the ball out of your hands. Josh McCown, he's in a little different situation right now. You're the starting quarterback for at least the next 8 to 12 weeks with RG3 out. Don't take some of these big hits. Be a chicken if you want everybody to call you that for now. You're more important to the team being healthy on the field than being hurt and having a rookie like Cody Kessler come in to try to man the ship.
Robert Griffin III out at least 8 weeks for the Cleveland Browns after that shoulder injury at the end of the fourth quarter in week 1. So on the sideline in the sling with the 37-year-old Josh McCown. Play clock winding down. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 10. Pressure again, throws almost picks.
Oh, poor Josh McCown.
And another big hit on Josh McCown. C.J. Mosley lays the lick this time on McCown.
Ooh. Hey, I'm sure his shoulder is probably separated. I would think he's got some slight separation. And, man, he just keeps landing on that left shoulder. C.J. Mosley does a good job coming around Duke Johnson, who's not the biggest guy in the world, trying to pass protect. Whoa. Thinks he's sore now. Wait till he wakes up tomorrow morning.
So another scary moment for Josh McCown and the Browns fans as he tries to stay healthy enough to stay on the field to give the Browns a chance at the Week 2 win. Colquitt hits it. Devin Hester calls for the fair catch near the 15. So this was last year, Josh McCown with the broken collarbone.
And I remember it. I mean, I watched the game on film last year during the season. It's a lot like some of the hits he's taken today. Yeah, throw it deep and get smothered. That's the price you pay for being an aggressive offense at times. And he's a tough guy, and he's willing to stand in there. But like I said, you know, take a page from Eli Manning, Peyton Manning. Sometimes just go down. Don't take the abuse.
McCown is only 1 for 6 in the second half. So Flacco and the Ravens with another chance to take the lead. But they're inside their own 20-yard line as Terrence West pushes for a gain of 3. And the Browns training staff checking on Josh McCown again. And you admire the grit to stay out there. But now you're 1 for 6, and McCown gives the Browns a much better chance of winning this football game than if you hand it to the rookie Cody Kessler, who's getting some coaching from Robert Griffin III in case they need Kessler.
Right. I'll say this, McCown, I know he's 1 of 6 here as of late, but it's not because of his shoulder. It's just been Baltimore good defense. He threw a nice ball to Corey Coleman. He just happened to step out of bounds. It's going to be all about how just Josh feels he can play.
3rd down coming up. Let's check with Jennings.
Just looking at Josh over here on the sideline. He's rocking back and forth in pain right now. The trainers are looking at that left shoulder. It doesn't look good. And just a quick update also on Carl Nassib. He's out right now. Return is questionable, dealing with a hand injury.
That's the rookie who played really well in week 1. The rookie out of Penn State defensive end Carl Nassib. As Kessler continues to warm up, and what would be the 3rd quarterback for the Cleveland Browns already in week 2.
My money's on Josh McCown that he will suck it up and play, though. I know Josh. I know his brother Luke. That's just the type of people they are.
3rd and 3. Browns back off. Flacco completes for a first down across the 30-yard line, and he goes to Dennis Pitta to move the chains.
Well, it's good to see that the Baltimore Ravens got Dennis Pitta back in the flow of being a legit passing option at the tight end position. Such a threat. When you got him and a guy like Crockett Gilmore, who is basically like another offensive tackle when he's in the game, it's going to make their offense that much more dangerous.
7 catches now for Pitta. West, short gain on first down. Coming up next, most of you will see the Colts and the Broncos, or the Falcons face off with the Raiders while the Jaguars tangle with the Chargers. Check local listings. The NFL on CBS Week 2.
Illegal shift. Offense.
Called an illegal shift, which probably meant that not everybody was set on the Baltimore Ravens side of the ball when it snapped. You got to get in a position where everybody is set for at least 1 second before the ball snapped, and I do think they had some movement as it was coming to Joe Flacco.
Saw McCown on the sideline with a tablet in hand trying to get ready. Maybe he's healthy enough to come back. As Flacco delivers, that's Mike Wallace who makes the grab to get back near the original line of scrimmage. Another flag.
Personal foul, chop block, offense number 71 and 73. 15-yard penalty, first down.
All chop blocks now illegal.
Correction, half the distance to the goal. Correction, half the distance to the goal.
The chop block rule is simple. If the defender is engaged with somebody else, you can't come and hit him low. Marshall Yanda, yes, it wasn't a huge blow, but he knows better than this. And you can see he hits Nate Orchard below the belt in the back there, why he's engaged with Rick Wagner at right tackle.
Wiping out the grab and making it 1st and 29 for the Ravens offense. They had scored on 3 straight possessions. Interception on the last one. 1st and 29. Flacco dump it off the screen. Browns are ready for it. Forsett is dropped. Demario Davis makes the open field tackle on Justin Forsett on the screen.
Wow, well, I would have bet a screen was coming. You know, you use a screen, something like that just to get back on track. Demario Davis, though, so instinctive. One of the great additions to the defense this offseason. He's been a really good player for a good New York Jets defense the last few years. And the coaches, they talked about him. What a pleasant surprise he's been. He's a 3-down linebacker. He can play in passing situations, and he can knock you out in short yardage run situations as well.
2nd and 35 with a dog pound right behind Joe Flacco. He delivers to Brashad Perriman. That gets him out to the 21. The first down marker is all the way up at the 43-yard line. Taylor on the stop.
For Joe Flacco here, chances are you're not going to get the first down. Don't force anything down the field. Really, you're happy with a 10-yard completion just to shift the field position once again and try to back Cleveland up in their own territory.
With the dog pound getting on him, 3rd and 22. Flacco punts. Flacco heaves downfield for Perriman. It's almost picked again. Almost the 3rd interception of the day. Jordan Poyer nearly picks this one off.
Oh, that was, again, that's what I just said, you know, a little risky there by Joe. But the good thing is, unlike the interception before to Joe Hayden when he was throwing to Brashad Perriman, Brashad Perriman does a good job of playing defense here. Looks like Jordan Poyer might drop the ball regardless, but at least Brashad tried to break it up.
Tramon Williams and Joe Hayden both back on the punt return. Sam Cook hits it at the 11. It is Hayden who backs up. From inside the 20-yard line, Joe Hayden across the 30. And now the question for the Cleveland Browns. Is it the veteran Josh McCown? And number 13 has an answer. McCown, despite being pummeled by the Ravens defense today, comes out again.
And he's the epitome of, you know, what do they call it? Texas tough? That's what he is. He is a gamer. You hit on it before, Carter. He knows he doesn't got a lot of chances left in his career at 37 years old. And the big thing is, it's not his throwing shoulder. So as long as he feels like he can still let the ball go with that right arm, he feels like he can hang in there with the pain.
Out of the eye, gives to Crowell. Pushing his way across the 35. It was his older brother, Randy, who said, hey, you got to take these when you can get them. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to your favorite team. From the front office to the front row, you'll get instant coverage of every moment from every angle. Download the CBS Sports app now. Let's check in again with Jenny.
Yeah, just a quick update. Obviously, you see McCown's back in there, and Chris, you just mentioned it's not his throwing shoulder, but he wouldn't even lift it over on the sideline. There was no movement in that left arm whatsoever.
Yeah, the tough thing is going to be for Josh McCown is what we just saw the last play. Handing the ball off with his left hand is going to be a pain in the butt for him right now.
Hands it off again to Crowell. Mentioned his older brother Randy, who played at Texas A&M. You know all about Luke McCown, the Saints quarterback and star of the Verizon commercials. But you know, Josh saying Randy's football career ended earlier than the brothers. And so now Randy, being older than Josh, saying, at age 39, man, for you to be 37 years old starting. And Josh said he was just as fired up as me or anybody else that I was getting this opportunity in week 2. Trying to gut it out, 3rd and 5. Johnson in motion. Josh McCown, pressured again, steps up, delivers, looking downfield for Coleman, and he holds it in. Coleman makes the grab as McCown steps up and delivers. A toughness that Cleveland loves. Josh McCown to Coleman for 47 yards. And that wraps up the 3rd quarter. Cleveland by 1, trying to tough it out against Baltimore. We'll return to Cleveland after this message and a word from your local station. Baltimore's 2 points in the 1st quarter came on a blocked PAT run back. So they trailed 20-2, then 17 straight. 3 interceptions thrown by Joe Flacco. Josh McCown has managed to tough it out. Entering the 4th quarter, handing off to Crowell, and that's immediate loss back to the 20. Guy leads the way. Let's go back to that remarkable play to end the 3rd quarter.
Remarkable play. For a guy that's 5'11", he is unbelievable at going up and catching these jump balls. He did it at Baylor. He was the most talented receiver in the draft. That's why they got him in the 1st round. And he's the first guy's never going to make the tackle on him either when he catches the short ball. He is dangerous.
4 grabs, 2 of them for touchdowns. There's an injury. Randall Telfer, who is down for the Cleveland Browns. On that play, there was a loss of 4 by Isaiah Crowell. So the training staff on the field, we step aside. Cleveland has a 1-point lead. It was Randall Telfer, the tight end, who went down on the last play.
You'll see Telfer right here, number 86, first-year player out of USC. Blocking down on Terrell Suggs, and really just gets part of some friendly fire there. Bentonio pulling guard. He hits Suggs. I'm sure it just kind of rung the bell of Randall Telfer, but he walked off the field looking like he was okay, so that's good to see.
Amazingly, the Browns, first trip to the red zone. Then they lose yardage back to the 21, but that was the first snap they've run inside the Ravens' 20. It's been the big plays that led to Cleveland getting up to a 20-2 start. Now hanging on by 1 with Josh McCown out of the shotgun. Crowell takes it again on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd and long coming up.
They're going to get Jimmy Smith for a hit to the head on Corey Coleman. Really poor play, poor move for Jimmy Smith.
Way away from the play.
Way away from the play. I was watching it. It was Jimmy Smith first. He throws a right hand open jab right into Corey Coleman's head.
Smith, a 6th-year pro out of Colorado.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense number 19.
Wow.
That penalty we will enforce from the end of the run. Dead ball foul makes it 3rd down.
I'm just telling you, the second guy got caught, which is usually what happens, right? I mean, we've all been pushed on the playground and then you push back. But here's Corey Coleman. Let's watch it. They're going to get into a little bit of a shoving match as the play goes on. Okay, here we are. Oh, well, I didn't see that. I saw that part right there. So I was wrong. Corey Coleman threw the left jab first. So sorry about that, Jimmy Smith, that I got on you. That was a rookie mistake by Corey Coleman.
And it backs him all the way up to 3rd down from the 34-yard line. McCown on 3rd and very long, dangerous pass that is incomplete. He was looking for Pryor again. Sharice Wright there in coverage. 4th down coming up. And it will be Patrick Murray coming out on 4th down. would be a 52-yard field goal coming up for Patrick Murray. Injured in Tampa Bay last year. So last week when he hit a 35-yarder, it was his first kick since 2014. Murray.
Somebody got a hand on it.
And it is no good. Cleveland unable to add to the 1-point lead. The costly penalty on Corey Coleman, who has been huge for the Browns today, but the penalty pushes him back. Murray misses the 52-yard attempt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive, handing off big savings to you. Walmart, save money, live better. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the exhilarating new Lincoln MKZ.
Browns came out with swagger. They scored 20 in the first quarter, haven't scored since. So Flacco and the Ravens, another chance to take the lead. It's Flacco to Pitta again, all the way to the 30-yard line. Kirksey finally makes the stop.
Well, great play design here. 2 tight end set, and you're just going to see Dennis Pitta go right up the middle. The linebackers get sucked up by the play-action fake, as you see right there, and he goes right by him, and Joe Flacco throws a nice, easy, catchable ball for Pitta.
28 yards. He now has 98 receiving yards on the day. Back from the hip injuries over the last 3 years. Forsett, short gain on first down. With NFL Game Pass, replay every game this season, including playoffs and the Super Bowl. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell from Cleveland. After a Week 1 loss when the Browns looked ineffective, they come out with a 20-2 start. Haven't scored since the first quarter. Now can the Ravens take the lead in the fourth? Flacco, another shovel for Seth. Shoved back. Third down coming up. Mario Davis and Nate Orchard there on the stop.
Now, if you're Baltimore, Joe Flacco here, you got to learn from your last time in the red zone when you threw the interception down the right sideline to Joe Hayden. That can't happen now. It's 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You need to keep care of the football so your team can kick a field goal to one of the best field goal kickers in the game, in Justin Tucker. It's one-on-one out here.
Flacco on 3rd and 6. He's going to take the deep shot, and he's got it. Short of the goal line with a catch made by Chris Moore. There is a flag down.
Look at the shift. Offense number 88 was never set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's the second time this half we've seen this call right here. And you would think with somebody like Dennis Pitta, Joe Flacco, they would be a little bit better in this type of situation. Yeah, but it was not. He did not get set for one full count before the ball was snapped. And that goes on Joe Flacco there, because Joe's got to be the general of the ship. He's got to realize that everybody's ready to go when he snaps the football.
3rd down and long. It is bobbled and incomplete. Great coverage by Kendrick. Intended for Crockett Gilmore. Boy, Derrick Kendrick, the rookie from TCU, he's made some big plays.
Yes, he has. They're excited about him. It should have been caught by Crockett Gilmore, but Kindred, with tight coverage all over his back, makes it a hard catch for Crockett Gilmore.
49-yard field goal coming from Justin Tucker. Hit 52 earlier for the second most accurate kicker in NFL history. Hold is down. The 49-yard attempt is good from Justin Tucker, and the Ravens have the lead in Cleveland in the fourth. from trailing 20-2 in the first quarter. The Ravens have come back to take a 2-point lead on the Cleveland Browns after Justin Tucker's second made field goal of the day from 52 and now from 49. The Ravens lead on the road in Cleveland in the fourth quarter.
Well, those 2 points, oddly enough, come off an extra point too, which is crazy. Don't see that every day.
Touchback. Browns will take it at the 25-yard line. Only 71 yards of offense in the second half for the Cleveland Browns. So those first 3 possessions, those were all in the first quarter when the Browns did all of their scoring. So since the first quarter, 4 punts, the INT, the missed field goal, and no points on the board since the first quarter. Only 71 yards in the second half. And now Josh McCown will try to lead a comeback in the fourth quarter, despite being pummeled by the Ravens.
They don't need to panic. They're going to probably get the ball at least 2 more times after this series. I think there's 3 possessions left in the game, I would say.
Crowell picks his way to near the 30. Let's check in with Jim.
An update on the tight end, Telfar. He actually just walked out of the locker room. He was in there, questionable return with a neck injury, but I just saw him put his gloves on, so look for that return. And also, guys, after that Corey Coleman penalty, wide receiver Andrew Hawkins, that 7-year vet, went over to him on the sideline, gave him a little bit of tough love, wanted to show him, what's right and what's wrong, and he certainly did that down here.
Because that penalty on Coleman really pushed Cleveland back. This field goal, Baltimore regains the lead on the next possession. 2nd and 6. It's incomplete. Terrell Pryor to the 43-yard line in front of Ladarius Webb.
Well, we haven't heard a lot of Terrell Pryor today. But again, a nice little inside in-cut, you would say. And he's dangerous after the ball, too, with that speed. Nice throw by Josh McCown.
Second catch for Pryor. That one goes for 15. The converted quarterback. 1st and 10, Crowell met by Dart Sizzle. Terrell Suggs on the field. Thursday, your weekend starts here. The Houston Texans tangle with the New England Patriots. Thursday night football on CBS and NFL Network.
Well, we're hearing Jimmy Garoppolo's hurt his shoulder. They should still beat the Miami Dolphins right now regardless. But let me just say this Houston Texans team, I've been watching them all preseason. They're legit. They're physical on both sides of the football, and they got some young weapons on the outside too now. So that'll be a real good football game.
Big Phil will be there.
Big Phil.
McCown 2nd down, and he will take another sack. This one at the 34. Michael Pierce, the rookie from Samford, drops McCown.
Man, look at Michael Pierce. Look at that body. That's what I'm amazed at. I mean, 6 foot, 339, power. He is what you want at nose tackle. Yeah, people might say, man, only 6 foot, but it's hard to move somebody that's 340 pounds and only 6 foot. They got a low center of gravity. Seen a lot of good nose tackles, defensive tackles with that kind of body makeup.
3rd sack by the Ravens D on Josh McCown. Had some magical conversions on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 20. McCown stepping up. Still behind the line. Heaves it downfield. It is knocked away. Up in the air. Who has it?
Rashard Higgins.
Rashard Higgins comes down with the football and call it another miraculous 3rd down conversion if it stands.
They're going to get McCown, I think, for maybe throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Entire body and the ball has to be past the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
An eligible member of the offense, number 74, was downfield illegally. That 5-yard penalty is enforced from the previous spot. 3rd down.
All right, so we'll see Cameron Ervin. Hey, this is a tough play. There's 74. You see him in the middle of your screen. He's blocking. He's watching Josh McCown. He just takes off, and he thinks he's going to run. And I was wrong. McCown was not past the line of scrimmage. That was a nice throw by him.
Still a great play by Higgins and all that traffic to come down with the football, but wipe it out because that's another mistake by Cameron Ervin at center. Bad snap last week led to a safety, had a critical penalty, and now a second. Wiping out a 26-yard drive, making it 3rd and 25. McCown's going to dump it. That's incomplete. Looking for Duke Johnson on the screen. And with 8:11, the Browns will give it back to the Ravens.
Well, I think, you know, you and I have talked about this all weekend. There's just some of the growing pains with a young football team. It's the youngest team in the whole NFL. If not, it's one of the 2 or 3 youngest. And yeah, guys like Cameron Ervin, he's got to know that situation. It's 3rd and long. You got a veteran quarterback. He's going to extend the play, try to find somebody down the field. Corey Coleman, like you talked about, with the back penalty. So the inexperience has kind of come back to bite Cleveland in the butt, per se.
17 rookies on the roster as Colquitt hits it. Hester fields it inside the 29. Devin Hester slipping away. Hoyer tracks him down. And that knocks him out of bounds at the 33. Ravens with the lead now and the football.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants and by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Well, early on, the Browns fans were taking their hats off to the effort by their team as an early 20-2 edge. But now in the 4th quarter, it's the Ravens with a 2-point lead on the Browns. Flacco turns it hand to Terrence West. He is popped immediately. Shelton on the stop. King of Comedy back on CBS. Kevin James returns, and Kevin can wait. Premieres tomorrow after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS.
That's when you know you're big time, when you know they just named the show after your real first name.
Kevin's earned it.
Yes, he has. I used to love King Queens.
Play fake, Flacco. That's West out of the backfield on 2nd and 10. Near midfield out of bounds. We go back to New York. Check in with JB.
21 unanswered by Miami.
Yeah, down 31-3. This is Kenyon Drake, 7 yards out, and there's still 6 minutes to go in the game. Miami cuts the lead to 7.
I think Chris Sims' phone is going to be ringing this week. Back to Carter and Chris.
Starting to warm up.
That ain't going to happen.
Starting to warm up.
I'm old and decrepit as far as the NFL is concerned.
Flacco turns in the hands again. West again. Inside the Cleveland 45-yard line. Joe Hayden finally makes the stop. The Ravens starting to run the football here in the 4th.
Yeah, well, listen, that's been one bright spot for Cleveland. They've done a good job defending their run all day. I wasn't sure if they could hold up against this good front of the Baltimore Ravens. But how about Terrence West? It's got to be a little bit fulfilling for him to come in here. He was released by the Browns. And it looks like he's matured and really become a very good NFL running back.
Forsett in the backfield now on 2nd and 4. Forsett picking his way to near the 41. So 3rd and short coming up for the Ravens. 6:10 left. Only 1 timeout for Cleveland. They used 2 in the 3rd quarter. So here in the 4th, approaching 6 minutes. Only 1 timeout left for Hugh Jackson. Here's West back out there for 3rd and 2.
Looks like it's going to be man-to-man coverage.
Ravens use a timeout, leaving them with only 1 with 5:41 to go in the 4th.
30-second timeout.
John Harbaugh uses the timeout, 1 left. Well, it's been an adventure in the kicking game. You got a 2-point game, and you go all the way back to the PAT block and run back for 2 points. That's the difference in the game.
Crazy to think it, but yes. Tavon Young has the big return there. Gives them the 2 points. Missed the field goal there. It'd be a totally different game. They make a field goal. They just make the extra point. They're up 4 right now.
A miss from 52 after the big penalty on Coleman. Well, Tucker's hit 2 of them. Baltimore has the lead. 3rd and 2.
It's a blitz. Look at all the people at the line of scrimmage.
Flacco throwing into the blitz. It is caught. First down, just enough back to Pitta again, his 9th catch.
Well, just good play design. You're going to see Pitta just go right across the formation. It's very hard on number 30, Derek Kindred, right there. He's playing 8 yards off. And, of course, the tight end's running away from him, and Dennis Pitta can run. And it's a perfectly thrown ball by Joe Flacco.
9 catches, 102 yards for Pitta today. A big bounce-back game after all the hip injuries in recent years.
180!
Flacco gives it to West. Danny Shelton again there on the stop on the first down carry, but West gets 4 more, takes it to the 35.
Danny Shelton's a guy, we haven't talked about a lot today because it's not always sexy when you're a nose tackle in the NFL. But man, you watched the game against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. He was in the backfield in the run game, pass game. Ray Orton talked about Danny Shelton. Lost some weight, and he's become a better pass rusher because of that as well.
West on 2nd and 7. West keeps it going for another first down. West with another burst to get a first down to the 26-yard line. Haya finally makes a stop.
And behind the 2 rookies, Ronnie Stanley, Alex Lewis. They got some road graders up front for the Baltimore Ravens offensive line.
Under 4 minutes. Cleveland only 1 timeout. Forsett in the backfield behind Flacco. He'll take it on first down. On the right side, run down by Orchard and by Demario Davis for a loss on first down. McCown and the Browns offense hoping to have a chance late.
Well, the big thing for here, let's just talk about the game situation itself. Baltimore just wants to protect the ball, run as much time off the play clock as possible. Joe Flacco is going to let that play clock go down to about 3 or 4 seconds every time. And they realize Cleveland only has 1 timeout. You get a field goal here, you force Cleveland to have to score a touchdown.
After struggling mightily to move the football in the second half. Forsett slips a tackle on the edge, knocked out.
Can't go out of bounds there, though. That would be one thing I would say. Justin Forsett, he's a veteran player. He's got to know that situation. You just got to get down, slide, do something else. But now he just saved the Cleveland Browns 40 seconds.
Clock stop, 3 minutes. 3rd and 7 coming for the Ravens. After they trailed 20-2 in the first quarter. Trying to win on the road in Cleveland to send the Browns to 0-2 for the 7th time in 12 years. Flacco's going to use a timeout. So that's the last one for the Ravens with 3 minutes.
Timeout, Baltimore. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So confusion prior to 3rd and 7. But step 1 for the Ravens, you're trying to convert on 3rd and 7. But the Browns, chance to get the football back, 2-minute warning, 1 timeout. But if you get the football back, I mean, so much struggles moving the football in this second half with the battered Josh McCown.
Yeah, Baltimore Ravens have found their footing on the defensive side of the football. Baltimore here, hey, listen, this is Joe Flacco. He's not Mr. Conservative. We know that. I mean, throughout his career. If he finds a one-on-one matchup down the field, he'll take a shot in the end zone. And he'll go, okay, hopefully it's a touchdown or an incompletion, and we kick the field goal. So there's no guarantee. They're just going to play the safe, short completion to the underneath route. If you made me bet from the formation I see right now on the field, one of their go-to plays in this formation is verticals like that at times.
3rd and 7, Flacco rollout. It's incomplete, intended for Forsett, going the other way. Joe Schobert in coverage on Forsett to force 4th and 7.
So just think what happened there. Justin Forsett goes out of bounds. Now it's an incompletion on 3rd down. They could have ran this down to the 2-minute warning. In theory, if Justin Forsett and they get the completion just there, it doesn't even really, Joe Flacco probably, he's in a tough spot there, but you almost don't even want to throw that away. You'd like to almost slide, do something like that, let the clock go. But he was under pressure.
Tucker 2 for 2. 31-yard field goal is good, extending the Baltimore lead to 25-20. But the Browns with 2 minutes, 53 seconds, 1 timeout, and the 2-minute warning. The problem for Josh McCown and the Browns, only 81 yards of offense in the second half. So they're going to have to get it rolling like they had in the first quarter if they're going to come from behind to win this one on this drive in the fourth.
Right. And the one concern you have for the Browns right now is they haven't been protecting all that well. And it's not like Baltimore's blitzing. Their front four has been getting pressure on McCown without any blitzes in the back end.
2 interceptions to Joe Flacco. Josh McCown has thrown 1. Cleveland hasn't scored since the first quarter. And you see the 81 yards in the second half. So we'll see how long the field is for Josh McCown, the 37-year-old who starts week 2 after the injury to Robert Griffin III. But the Browns have a chance with the football in 2:53, down only 5.
They do have a chance. And really the big question comes here to almost the defensive coordinator, Dean Pease. And we've seen it in these type of games if you're an NFL football fan. How conservative do you get on the defensive end? You play that prevent defense where a guy like Josh McCown is smart and he can nickel and dime your defense all the way down the field.
So they'll have it at the 25-yard line, needing 75 yards. It's been really big plays from Josh McCown early. First touchdown pass to Coleman. Second touchdown pass to Coleman. And then a lot of hits from the Ravens D.
Oh, a lot of hits. And a lot of these hits were completions and big plays down the field. But regardless, they take their toll. And that's why the left shoulder is sore for Josh McCown.
Adds up to 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the toughness to remain on the field in the second half to have this chance. 75 yards away from a go-ahead score. Only 81 yards in the second half. McCown completes to Johnson. Takes it to the 35-yard pickup. Stay tuned for the NFL Today update. Time permitting, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights.
No. Hurry, go.
McCown over the middle again. It is bobbled, but caught. Barnidge hauls it in. 1st and 10 at the 36. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left.
Cameron Ervin kind of limping to the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was cramping, but they got to get one more play off here before the 2-minute warning. Hurry up. They're not going to do it.
Can't get the snap off prior to the 2-minute warning. That's it. 2-minute warning. The Browns unable to get it off. So they have it at the 36. Down 5 at the 2-minute warning. In a 5-point game, 2 minutes, 64 yards away from the goal line with Josh McCown and the Cleveland Browns. Haven't scored since the first quarter.
Hurry, go.
1st and 10 from the 36. McCown over the middle, caught. Hawkins has it, striking his way across midfield. Weddle makes the stop. Hawkins pushes Cleveland across the 50-yard line. It's a 17-yard completion over the middle on the catch and run.
Plenty of time.
And 1 timeout. The 37-year-old quarterback, Josh McCown. That's Pryor near the line of scrimmage, and he is dropped. That is a loss on the completion to Pryor.
A loss and a great tackle by the rookie Tavon Young to not let Pryor get to the sidelines. That saves Baltimore's defense a good 15, 20 seconds here.
Rolling to a minute left in the fourth. McCown on 2nd down, setting up the screen. Johnson, and he is dropped as soon as he grabs it by Timmy Jernigan with 55 seconds left. There's an injured Brown down on the field, and it's Cameron Erving, the center.
Inside of 2 minutes by rule, when a team has an injured player, that team will be charged to sign out. This will be Cleveland's 3rd and final charge timeout. There will be a 30-second timeout.
Oh, man. He just dove at Eric Weddle, missed him, and it looks like he kind of banged up his shoulder.
So now no timeouts, 55 seconds. Cameron Erving, the center, down. You got 3rd and 9 coming up. So you're forced to use the last timeout here. And while they tend to Erving, a chance for the Browns to try and strategize for 3rd down and beyond.
Yes, well, listen, that's a tough break for them for sure. It does give Josh McCown a chance to talk to Hugh Jackson how they want to strategize this situation. But hey, there's nothing you can do in this type of environment. I mean, Cameron Erving, he's legitimately hurt. You can see his face. It's hurting right now.
So Erving, who's had some critical mistakes in his 2nd year playing center for the Cleveland Browns. So it's Alan Bailey, 78, who is going to take over at center in a critical moment for the Cleveland Browns. 3rd and 9 coming up, 55 seconds, no timeouts for either side. The 19th overall pick 2 years ago, Cameron Erving.
And I think they might get Alan Bailey at right guard and move over John Greco to center. Greco's been, I'm not sure. I can't tell. It looks like it might be Alan Bailey. You might be, oh no, it is Greco. Okay.
So Greco goes to center. Bailey takes over at right guard for 3rd and 9 with 55 seconds.
Get 80! Pretty hot!
McCown on 3rd and 9. Stepping up. Complete. It's Barnidge who makes the grab, but he's short of the 1st down. Young on the stop. No timeouts. Clock running. 4th down coming up.
Got to get a quick completion, then you got to spike the ball.
38 seconds. 4th down here. It's 4th and 4. McCown out of the shotgun. Here's the quick completion. It's Coleman who makes the grab. Trying to get out of bounds. Coleman does with 27 seconds. So Coleman comes through with the grab and the heady play by the rookie to get out of bounds.
You can see how quick and electric this Corey Coleman is. I know I've said it before. He's like Percy Harvin. He's almost untackable. Is that a word, untackable?
It is now.
Okay. Yes, when you're one-on-one on him, he's just so shifty and has great acceleration.
And manages to get out of bounds with 27 seconds. 1st and 10 from the Baltimore 30. McCown, long drop. McCown, flag down. Caught at the 10. Now we check the flag after Terrell Pryor holds it in. Here comes another flag with 21 seconds. 2 flags. 20-yard completion to Terrell Pryor if it stands. Josh McCown and the Browns trying to tough out a closing touchdown drive to beat Baltimore.
I don't think we really realize how big, a great a job it was of Corey Coleman getting out of bounds. That saved them 17 seconds at least.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, defense. After the play, taunting, number 11. Those fouls will offset. This taunting foul falls in the category where if number 11 commits the same type of foul, he will be ejected. It will offset these penalties. 1st down.
So Terrell Pryor, after making the catch for 20, is called for taunting. Wiping it out.
Oh my gosh. I think he's legitimately trying to just throw the ball up. He's not trying to show Ladarius Webb up or anything like that. I do not agree with that call. It's a little too ticky-tack for this situation here late in the 4th quarter.
Now they'll have to regroup. No timeouts, 21 seconds from the 30. McCown takes another deep shot down the middle. It's intercepted. Mosley holds it in, and Baltimore will escape Cleveland with a 25-20 win. From down 20-2 in the first quarter, Baltimore is going to win it 25-20 with the interception at the 1 from C.J. Mosley.
It's an interception. Momentum was at the 1-yard line. The ball we placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Wow, yes, I just don't agree with the call. And I know it's a tough job these referees have. I got the ultimate respect for what they do. But to me, it almost looked like he was holding it up and going to flip it to the ref, and it almost slipped out of his hand. He wasn't talking trash. But like I said, I just think it's not the right situation. Quarterback sneaking.
Flacco gets out, no timeouts for Cleveland, and put it in the books. 25-20. Baltimore comes back to win it in Cleveland. After the tremendous start in the first quarter for the Cleveland Browns, jumping out to a 20-2 edge, it's the Ravens who fight back to win it 25-20.
And let's not forget here, it was offsetting penalties, but it negates the completion because it was holding on C.J. Mosley on Duke Johnson.
And it's the INT by Mosley that seals it at the 1.
Well, this wasn't the best decision in Josh McCown's career, but it also is a desperate situation here. It's less than 20 seconds left. He's trying to make something happen. He's throwing it off his back foot, and Terrell Pryor's a big target.
Inspired by the memory of Clarence Brooks, the Ravens win it 25-20. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader.